Quick warning before we begin. This episode contains strong language. Dr Ruja has been missing now for nearly 5 years. But far from fading into obscurity, it feels like finding her is more important than ever. And now, we're not the only ones looking for her.
This woman allegedly defrauding investors of more than $4 billion.
It's been a while since the last episode, so here's a quick reminder of where we left off. In 2014, Dr Ruja Ignatova told investors that she'd created a brand new cryptocurrency that would make them all rich. She called it OneCoin.
And I believe we are a very special network because we really act as a family.
By late 2016, Dr Ruja was jetting around the world, addressing her adoring fans.
One family! You're amazing, guys.
And as many as 1 million people from almost every country on Earth had invested billions in her promise of a financial revolution.
3 goats.
You sold some goats?
Yeah.
You did that for OneCoin?
There were no other way.
But on the 25th of October 2017, as her investors were waiting to turn their OneCoin into dollars or euros, Dr Ruja boarded a Ryanair flight from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece, and disappeared.
She didn't react on the email, not on the WhatsApp, or nothing. Nothing helped. And nobody knew where is Dr Ruja.
OneCoin was just an old-fashioned pyramid scheme. It didn't have the underlying technology needed to power a cryptocurrency.
I know they didn't have a blockchain. They couldn't have.
For 4 years, Georgia Cat and I have been trying to expose the fake cryptocurrency OneCoin and find out what happened to its founder, Dr Ruja, when she stepped off that Ryanair flight. In 2019, we travelled all over the world following leads. Really well produced. It's very slick. Hello? Can I ask who owns this boat?
This is, something.
I know, the cigar smoke is getting pretty overwhelming. We felt like we'd got close. It's possible that she could have been there. Maybe closer than we realised.
She was there at Miss One Life, sitting at the table. You've seen her without knowing it was her. You were in the same room.
And since we released the podcast, law enforcement around the world has finally started catching up with some of Dr Ruja's sidekicks, including her younger brother Konstantin. He's currently detained in the US after pleading guilty to money laundering and fraud charges. But Dr Ruja is still on the run, possibly protected by shadowy people and vast amounts of cash.
The longer she has money, the safer is she.
It feels like the net is starting to close in on the missing Cryptoqueen. The question now is, who will find her first?
We have the plaintiff being Dr Ruja Ignatova.
We're not going to stop looking for her. That's what it comes down to.
I think you need to start looking at the very, very, very top of that country.
Eventually, I'm confident we'll find her.
I'm the person who ordered the Krispy Kremes. This is the Missing Cryptoqueen. Episode 10, The Dubai Files. Should we just get straight in there?
Sure.
Start talking. Brilliant. This is Esther Crisona. And I have to include this bit. She was part of Israel's winning Eurovision Song Contest team in 1978.
Well, I've
never met a Eurovision Song contestant, let alone a winner.
That's funny.
After winning Eurovision, Esther moved to the US, where she got married and raised 2 children. In 2016, her husband passed away.
My husband left me some money after he passed away. This money was supposed to be for a condo, for an apartment for myself, or a townhouse or something, to be secure, so I have a roof over my head.
A few months later, Esther's son told her about an exciting new cryptocurrency called OneCoin.
I just listened to my son and I decided to help him out. And him and his friend convinced me to invest in OneCoin. And he simply believed that OneCoin will be the biggest, crypto in the world. Like bigger than Bitcoin.
Esther's story is like so many other OneCoin investors we've heard making this series. She was impressed by the Crypto Queen's impeccable credentials and drawn in by the prospect of a financial revolution, plus the chance of getting rich.
We listened to her all the time. We read, my son, he even went there to Bulgaria.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was at the main office there.
Right.
And he said nothing looked suspicious at all.
What did you think of her?
Kind of admired her and the way she was talking and the way she believed in her dream, and I truly thought that she's for real.
Pretty soon, Esther decided to invest.
I put all together approximately $143,000.
Oof.
I know. I became a little greedy, I guess.
It was only when Ruja's brother Konstantin was arrested in 2019 that Esther realised she'd been fooled and that her money was gone. What did it sort of mean to you financially?
I was losing my big house that I lived with my husband, and I had to rent a year ago. I had to rent a townhouse condo. It felt like death, absolutely. I was so devastated. And I had to start from A.
Many investors put everything they had into OneCoin. Even now, years later, they're still struggling with the loss. But there is a glimmer of hope for the victims. When financial frauds like OneCoin collapse, there are ways to get some of the money back. The key is to identify assets or money that belong to the guilty party, which the authorities can seize and return to victims. But it's a slow and difficult process. We know Ruja had plenty of houses, cars, businesses, bank accounts. The trouble is, she knew how to hide them. The money investors poured into OneCoin has ended up in a web of offshore accounts, fake owners and complicated corporate structures. So along with several other OneCoin investors, Esther hired a lawyer to help identify Ruja's assets around the world in the hope she might see some of her money again. The best case scenario here, if things go well, what are you hoping to achieve with this lawsuit?
I hope to get some of my money back. If you cannot get everything, all of it, I hope to get some of it. Anything will be helpful for me right now.
And there's more than just money at stake.
It feels lousy. It feels really bad because that's the only money that I had. And she is like living in, as a queen, and I have to fight for my security.
A few months back, a whistleblower who'd listened to our podcast got in touch with Esther's lawyers saying they had confidential documents that might help. These are the Dubai files. We were also sent them. They're hundreds of pages. Court documents, bank letters, photographs. A lot of them are in Arabic and most are photocopies, blurred and poor quality, as if someone had to copy them in a rush. As a journalist, you sometimes receive leaked documents like this, and your first job is to verify them somehow so you know what you're dealing with. That process has taken us months, and we couldn't verify everything, but we spoke off record with at least some of the people named in the Dubai files and found and reviewed other public documents like court records. The Dubai files appear to show that Ruja amassed tens of millions of dollars in Dubai bank accounts. Money that could still potentially go to OneCoin investors like Esther. And maybe these files could offer us clues about where Dr. Ruja fled. It looks like her millions were frozen because of money laundering concerns 2 years before she vanished. And in response, Ruja sought the help of an influential sheikh.
He is actually Sheikh Saud bin Faisal bin Sultan bin Salim al-Qasimi.
Yeah, but Qasimi to friends like me.
That's fine.
This is Yusuf Taha. He's a BBC journalist and former Arabic teacher who's helping us make sense of the Dubai files.
Al-Qasimi are the royal family of Sharjah. Okay, and he's a sheikh as well.
So that's a region,
Sharjah is one of the 7 emirates of the United Arab Emirates. It's a confederation, the United Arab Emirates. So it's 7 emirates. Each has its own emir or sheikh. And the capital of the United Arab Emirates is Abu Dhabi. Sharjah is one of the not so rich, but certainly not poorer emirates.
So what does it mean to be a sheikh of? If he's a sheikh and his family is sort of the royal family, where does that position him? How powerful will he be?
Very powerful. All the sheikhs of the 7 United Arab Emirates, they're related somewhere in their lineage. They are all related.
But if you're a sheikh in Sharjah, you basically have connections to all the government departments, to the powerful people. You're someone that can...
More like the government has connections to you.
Right.
Then you have connections to them. Yeah, you're just powerful. And whatever you say happens.
According to the Dubai files, in late 2015, Ruja handed over control of OneCoin Limited to Sheikh Al-Qasimi, along with the frozen millions, something we think she alluded to in an email to a OneCoin colleague, which was later read out in court.
I have a meeting next week with one of the sheikhs in Dubai, and we'll try to get something done for us, but we'll discuss with you only in person and if I get results.
Could the deal have been this? That Sheikh Al-Qasimi could take control of the frozen money, using his influence to unlock the cash? And what would Ruja get in return? The Dubai files suggest she might have received millions in Bitcoin, but it's not clear. Whatever it was, the sheikh soon wrote to Dubai's Attorney General vouching for Ruja.
Dr Ruja Ignatova is a distinguished international businesswoman whose clients are in millions worldwide, and freezing her funds in the UAE is an affront to her and will tarnish her investment, economic and diplomatic experience.
And here's an even stranger thing. In 2020, so 2 years after she disappeared, and after the US had published an indictment against her, Ruja's millions were unfrozen by the Dubai authorities.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Bi-ismi sahib as-samu.
Since then, there's been a long legal dispute between Ruja's lawyers and Sheikh Al-Qasimi, and ultimately it appears to be over who can claim the unfrozen millions. Finally, in June 2022, Sheikh Al-Qasimi won. And right now, we're still trying to figure out what's happened to that money. We've asked Sheikh Al-Qasimi multiple times about his dealings with Dr Ruja. His lawyer told us,
"You do not have any correct information on the subject."
With so much of her money tied up there, the files led us to an obvious question. Could Dr Ruja be hiding in Dubai? After Ruja vanished, Konstantin Ignatov took over the running of OneCoin from his big sister. He couldn't have been more different. For one thing, Konstantin is covered in tattoos and is a teetotal vegan. As Ruja travelled the world selling OneCoin, he was driving a forklift truck at a Porsche factory in Germany. Konstantin didn't know anything about cryptocurrencies, finance or multi-level marketing. He preferred spending time listening to heavy metal, working out and looking after stray dogs. Ruja originally hired her brother as a personal assistant, where he mostly booked hotels and ordered luxury jewellery. But soon after her disappearance, Konstantin was giving talks and recruiting investors just like his sister. Here he is in Argentina in 2018.
The whole world is watching today. more than 3 million people from the network and all of the people outside who don't like us are also watching. Gracias.
Konstantin was arrested in 2019 at Los Angeles airport. After initially claiming he'd done nothing wrong, he eventually pled guilty to multiple charges, including fraud and money laundering, and agreed to work with the US authorities as a witness in any OneCoin-related court cases. And in late 2019, Konstantin was in court in New York, testifying against Mark Scott, Ruja's investment manager, who was on trial for money laundering. So after going through the Dubai files, Georgia and I trawled back through Konstantin's testimony looking for clues. We figured if anyone knew where Dr. Ruja went after Athens, it was Konstantin.
When was the last time that you saw Ruja?
2 days before she disappeared.
When was the last time that you communicated with her in any way?
The day she disappeared.
But Konstantin did let slip that Ruja bought a mansion in Dubai.
You mentioned a moment ago that Ruja also bought properties in Dubai. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you ever visit either of those properties?
I spent one night in the penthouse and I've seen the mansion, but it was still under construction, so it wasn't finished yet.
Do you know approximately how much the mansion cost?
I heard her talking about 20 million.
A mansion in Dubai seemed like the perfect place for Ruja to lay low and still enjoy the high life. Konstantin, who is currently at some unknown location in the US and awaiting sentencing, wouldn't or couldn't talk to us. So how do you find a house in a city of 3.5 million people when all you have to go on is the word mansion and a price?
So, yeah, it was a bit of a mission to trawl through it all. But
let me introduce you to Rob, our new team member. He's a journalist who's brilliant at finding out stuff that dodgy people don't want you to know.
So we thought, perhaps they met, although he denies meeting her since she disappeared in court.
The first thing he did was to look through all of Konstantin's social media accounts, looking for photos that might offer some clues about Dubai and this mysterious mansion.
So I just started looking through his prolific social media accounts, or they were prolific until he was arrested. And on Instagram, there was a post at his birthday on the 15th of February 2018.
February 2018. That's 5 months after Ruja disappeared.
He says, just woke up and already have 200 plus messages, you crazy guys, birthday mode on, hashtag selfie time, hashtag me, hashtag birthday, there's too many hashtags. It's a selfie, it's tagged in Bulgaria, but the background of the photograph did not look like Bulgaria, certainly not in the middle of winter. So
it just doesn't look right.
It just looks weird. You know, there's like a big skyline, skyscrapers in the background, there's a palm tree and possibly a mosque minaret, so it looked kind of Middle Eastern. And it just didn't add up. So we needed some help, basically.
Hi everyone, my name is Ayom Leroy, so I'm an open source investigative journalist.
Ayom is a very special type of journalist. He works for BBC Investigations on something called open source intelligence. All of us share so much information about ourselves online, and people like Ayom are able to take that information and make sense of it. His particular skill is to work out precisely where and when photos and videos were taken.
So basically just spending hours on internet, Googling stuff to verify content. You just kind of follow the breadcrumbs, right? The sort of digital breadcrumbs, and you find as much elements as possible to be 150% sure that you've got it right.
Rob sent Ayom Konstantin's Instagram post. There was one handy clue. A building in the far distance that looked a bit like a bottle opener. It was a long shot. But check out what Ayom did with one photo.
Took a screenshot of the bottle opener building. To start is I thought, hey, if we can do image reverse search, take the image, put it into search engines, try to see if you find other image with the same elements, with the same characteristic, with the same buildings. First I thought, it'll be easy, you know, there's a line of skyscraper, it's a big city. By the evening I have something for Rob. But by the evening I didn't have something for Rob, and that's where, you know, you need to be patient and, you know, start breathing and dive in. spent hours digging through. And after a couple of hours of digging through, there was an image which had a building in it that looked very similar. And that image was basically a thumbnail for a YouTube video. And in the background of that video, you could see a building that looked like the bottle opener we had in the image of Konstantin.
Get like a buzz when you get that match. Are you like, yes, right, here we go, we're on it?
Not an absolute buzz, like a tiny buzz. So I got a little kind of start of a buzz, you could say, like, oh, I'm on the right track. A mini buzz.
Except something didn't add up.
But there was a big problem. The line of skyscrapers and the order of the buildings I could see in that YouTube video was not matching. The buildings looked like they were in reverse order, and that kind of bothered me for quite a while, until I realized, wait, Konstantin image is a selfie. If it's a selfie, I'm seeing a mirror of what the human eye would have seen. And so I flipped the image, and there, boom, the skyline was perfectly matching in terms of order. We're on the right track to find it.
More than a mini buzz.
That's where the big buzz came in, exactly.
Then he tried to work out the rough distance and possible eye line from where the photo was taken.
So we got the minaret and we got that pond of water. We could start matching specific elements in Konstantin's
Then
image.
he used Google Earth to identify other smaller features in Konstantin's photo, trying to narrow it down and down.
And there is one element that's actually, you can even spot from satellite imagery, is in Konstantin image in the background, like a sort of water fountain, pushing maybe, all right, 99% sure I've got it, but I want to look for more. That's where I kind of came across a gold mine.
Listener, dear listener, he's actually matched little stains on the wall from the Konstantin photo.
Until...
Mine, I can say for sure, this is where he took the image, 150%. Of Dreams in the Springs 1 in Dubai.
What? I thought you were going to say, I think it's Dubai.
He didn't just say Dubai. He gave us the full address.
And no one else has said it.
Nobody knows where this is. This is unbelievable, and I cannot believe we've got this far. But now we've got to decide, what do we do? Now we've got an address in Dubai. We can't just turn up and knock on the door. Yeah. And that's a whole nother problem.
Let's crack on.
This could be anyone's property, of course. Maybe Konstantin just rented it from Airbnb. Or maybe he was just staying with an old friend. But Ian found something else. He trawled through some old real estate websites and found out that this property was on the market in 2016 for 17 million Emirati dirhams, roughly the same amount Konstantin gave in court for how much Ruja paid for her mansion. Even so, it could still be a coincidence. But then we managed to get hold of an old Dubai property database and ran the address through that. Before I tell you what we found, let me remind you of another key character in this story.
Let's give a warm applause for our creator, our founder, our lovely Dr. Ruja.
The voice introducing Ruja on stage at London's Wembley Arena in 2016 was Sebastian Greenwood. He co-founded OneCoin with Ruja. Sebastian, who's a British-Swedish national, is a gifted salesman in his mid-40s with a long history in multi-level marketing. Sebastian knew how to work a crowd. Here he is at a frenzied OneCoin event in Malaysia in 2017.
Do I look old? Do I still look beautiful?
Sebastian and Ruja probably met in 2013, where they came up with the idea for OneCoin together.
Thank you.
Here's one email from Ruja to Sebastian just a few weeks before the company was launched.
You as the magic sales machine, and me as someone who really can work with numbers, legal, and back you up in a good and professional way. We could really make it big, like MLM meets Bitch of Wall Street.
It was rumoured that Ruja and Sebastian were more than just business partners, According to some, they were lovers too. In 2018, around a year after Ruja vanished, Sebastian was arrested in Thailand and extradited to the US, where he's currently in prison awaiting trial.
This time last week we were here speaking to Ayam about the house, the property in Dubai.
So back to our war room, which is my garden, where we're trying to figure out who owns this property.
This database, so it's got people's contact details, their names. Some of it is like limited companies. But I reckon 80% of this database was people's real names, and it was split into all the different regions. So a massive amount.
There are a lot, yeah.
And Rob knows there are a lot because you've been looking through them.
Yeah, lucky me. So eventually I see, by matching the geolocation, that I had the right plot eventually.
Right, and that then gave you what?
That then gave me the name of the owner, which is Sebastian Greenwood, the co-founder of OneCoin.
Co-founder of OneCoin.
Sebastian was named as a co-director on a firm Ruja used to buy a 5,000 square foot penthouse in Dubai, in the exclusive Palm Jumeirah area. That's the one Konstantin also mentioned in court. We don't quite know what's really going on with the mansion, but it feels like a strong lead, a new address. Now, we need to decide what to do. If it was the UK, we would have just turned up and knocked on the door. But advisors at the BBC told us we shouldn't go there in person. If Ruja was well connected in Dubai, as journalists, we could find ourselves in some trouble. We found out the mansion itself was part of an exclusive gated community with its own security staff. We were stumped, and we were getting hungry.
Hi, it's Stephen here for the Krispy Kremes.
We might not be able to go to the mansion, but we could send a food delivery to see if anyone's home. Now, to make sure we weren't getting the delivery person into any trouble, we decided to pretend it was a wrong address and not ever mention Ruja, Sebastian, or my name.
42 AED.
No, it can't be that cheap, can it? What, you bought like one donut? You didn't tip him. Well, he's not going to help us now, is he? What do you think's going to happen? No one in?
Whoa, he's there.
He's there. He suddenly got there. It's the kind of thing that the FBI would do just before they bust your door down, isn't it? Shall I call him? Has it been enough time milling around? I'm the person who ordered the Krispy Kremes. Did you find the house? Have you tried to knock on the door? Is there nobody in? Thanks for trying. I guess just keep the donuts.
All we wanted to do at this point was find out if anyone lives there. We reached out to Sebastian Greenwood via his attorneys to ask about the mansion. Could Ruja have visited? Does he still own it? They didn't reply. We also wrote to Konstantin's lawyers about his visit to the property, but they didn't get back to us either. We tried people living nearby. They told us someone was still living in the mansion, but no one had seen a person resembling Ruja. We also spoke to a former FBI agent called Karen Greenaway. Now, she hasn't worked on the OneCoin case, but knows a lot about tracking criminals to Dubai.
I can tell you from personal experience, we really worked very hard to try to build relationships with UAE law enforcement authorities to address the situation where we had, particularly transnational organized crime criminals who were going to UAE and hanging out. And I can tell you that we got zero assistance.
We're working on a sort of theory of our own here that Ruja may have been living in Dubai in early 2018. Now, if she were, is it possible that both the Dubai authorities and the FBI would have been fully aware of this fact, but neither were able to do, well, the FBI weren't able and the Dubai authorities weren't interested in doing anything about it?
Absolutely. It's entirely possible the FBI knew that she was there, And then on the flip side, I have no doubt that the Dubai authorities knew that she was there because, again, they do have this very, technologically oriented, surveillance state.
We asked Dubai's government if they had any evidence of Ruja living in the emirate, or if they received any requests from the US relating to her, but they did not reply. We've been monitoring the mansion for the last few months, and it looks like Ruja probably isn't there. But the property still is. And that's something, because if we're right about the mansion, the authorities could seize it, sell it, and give the proceeds back to people like Esther. We're going to keep checking in there and keep you updated if anything changes. I hope it does, but it's frustrating because every time we think we're getting closer, we seem to hit a dead end. And then, as we're starting to lose hope, the authorities suddenly kick into gear. First, in May 2022, Europol adds Dr Ruja to its list of most wanted criminals at the request of the German police.
11. Mai 2020. Update 11th May 2022. Ignatova, Ruja, wanted. Crime, fraud, approximate height 163 centimeters. Eye color, brown. Date of birth, May 30, 1980. Nationality, German. Spoken languages, Bulgarian, English, German. Reward payment, €5,000. Caution. The wanted person or possible persons accompanying her might be armed. Etwaige Begleitspersonen könnten bewaffnet sein.
And a few weeks later, there's even bigger news.
Let's now go out to New York here and listen to the FBI.
In a press conference broadcast live on Fox News, the FBI's Michael Driscoll announced they were adding Dr Ruja to their list of the top 10 most wanted fugitives.
We ask that anyone who has information about Ignatova's whereabouts to call us.
The FBI gave little away about their investigation, but this still felt like the most significant moment since Ruja disappeared.
We're going to make every effort we can, and we're not going to stop looking for her. That's what it comes down to. Eventually, I'm confident we'll find her.
It really felt quite surreal, to be honest. There was Ruja's face, a face I'd studied for so long, the perfect styled hair and the signature red lipstick, alongside cartel leaders and alleged murderers, with a $100,000 reward on offer for information leading to her arrest. And it wasn't long before our Missing Cryptoqueen inbox started filling up again with new tip-offs, new sightings.
This one's really weird. A silver Aston Martin that's being driven around London. It does look a bit like her, right? It's got the hair, the kind of lips. It looks like it could be her. And then the weird bit about it is that the number plate is pretty significant to her name. It's quite similar.
Some people over in Thailand seem absolutely certain that she's hiding in a mansion there with another promoter, like a former OneCoin promoter.
We had someone get in touch. They claim to have seen her in Greece, and it was in a beach bar near Thessaloniki, which is a part of Greece that Ruja has connections to.
And as we were investigating these new leads, a person we'd first written to in prison months earlier got back to us, and to our surprise, agreed to talk. So in late August 2022, Rob and I took a last-minute flight to Luxembourg.
Situations change, and then suddenly it's in a person's interest to talk. And then, would you shut up? I spent so long reading about him, I spent so long talking about him, I spent so long writing about him, but I've never met him. His house is there. Should we just jump out here?
Yeah.
We're close either way, aren't we? Alright, good luck everybody.
Frank Schneider, the former top spy who became Ruja's trusted security advisor and who is currently fighting extradition to the US, agreed to speak to us.
Are you wearing an ankle bracelet? Yes, I've got used to it. It's, that's one of those things.
Oh, right.
It would alert if I would leave the premises. So that's what it does. So it would alert the authorities that I would violate my conditional release conditions, and that would probably get me straight back into jail.
Frank seems to know more about Ruja than anyone else we've spoken to on this podcast. He's the first person to give us an account of what happened to Ruja after she landed in Athens on the 25th of October 2017.
She called me and she said, "Hi, everything's fine, I'm in Athens." We chit-chatted a bit, nothing strange, other than her bodyguard told her that he was given instructions to leave and travel back to Sofia. According to her, he gave her a ticket to fly to Thessaloniki. The security was organized by, I don't know exactly who, but by someone else. And so she laughed about this. I said, "Well, I thought you're the boss, and he just left you." And she sort of said, "Yes, I always thought I'm the boss too, but he's gone." And so what are you going to do now?
She's sitting in Athens.
She's sitting in Athens airport. And she says, "What does a girl do when a girl is bored?" I said, "Well, I guess you go shopping." "Yes, I will go shopping now." And so off she went, and that was the end of that phone call. A few hours later, she called back again, and she was in Thessaloniki. She said nobody was waiting for her. However, she got a text saying that some people will arrive. They are delayed and they're coming. I had my dinner, and then around 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12, I don't know, midnight, she called, and she was in a car. She said that she was on the way back to Bulgaria. I only got one text, which was around 2 o'clock in the morning, in English, that said, "Home safe." Now, one has to understand, I only spoke German to her, and we texted in German. So I found this "home safe" immediately slightly bizarre, but she would say this in English, "home safe." And that was the last I ever received from any of her devices. From the next day on, the phones were off. That never happened. I believe that she's not missing, that whatever's happened to her, I fear that it's not under her control.
Next time on the Missing Cryptoqueen, more on her disappearance. And that's not the only thing Frank tells us.
She certainly didn't need me to carry out the dirty work that she wanted carrying out. Within Bulgaria, there were certainly very powerful and very different resources to get hold of this kind of information.
The kind of information Frank hands us on a memory stick.
I do have the documents, and I have them here, and I give them to you. And I think you need to start looking at the very, very, very top of that country.
A memory stick not only with documents, but recordings he says were made by Dr Ruja.
They run from 4th of October through to the 24th, to the day before she disappeared.
They're both recording the calls.
Oh, the drama! You could just study it though, couldn't you?
Do you think any of it gives us any clues? Does any of it tell us anything?
Yeah, there's a few things that...
I really worry about you. Is there anything that you can tell me or whatever? I don't know. Are you okay?
Remember, if you have information about Dr Ruja you'd like to share with us, you can reach us at cryptoqueen@bbc.co.uk. Or you could go to the FBI. Thank you to those who've already been in touch with us and will be checking our email daily. The Missing Cryptoqueen was presented by me, Jamie Bartlett. It was written by me and Rob Byrne. The producers were Georgia Catt and Rob Byrne. The series producer is Georgia Catt. The music, which is very nice to hear again, is by Phil Channel and Desislava Stefanova and the London Bulgarian Choir. The commissioner is Dylan Haskins. The series editor is Philip Sellers. This is a BBC Documentaries production for BBC Sounds and BBC 5 Live.